Hello everyone and welcome to another randomised gaming gameplay video. And today we're going to be looking at Gunstar Heroes Treasure Box, released on the PlayStation 2, which was part of the SEGA AGES 2500 range, and it was volume 25 in that range. And this collection is a collection of Gunstar Heroes, Alien Soldier and Dynamite Headdy, probably Treasure's 3 best games on the Mega Drive. So I thought I'd showcase this one purely as we had the recent analog Mega Drive released, and as nice as that hardware is, one of the problems with actually those type of clone hardware is actually getting hold of some of the games these days can be quite an expensive business unless you're going to be using an EverDrive. And certainly in this case, Alien Soldier, the original version, is very, very expensive as it got a very limited print run. In Japan it was an extremely limited run of a game, whereas in Europe it's still only got a small print run, although there are more European copies going around than Japanese ones. Sadly, Alien Soldier was never released in America, which is one of the reasons it's so hard to come by. So I'm just going to let the intro here for Gunstar Heroes play out. But this is actually a superb collection and a great way of picking up these 3 games without paying an absolute fortune, and it can still be had for relatively cheaply on the PlayStation 2. It's also got some quite nice features, so on top of 480p support, which is what I was using for this video, it also allows you to remove the sprite limit, and it includes both the Japanese and the overseas versions of all games. And it also includes, in Gunstar Heroes' case, you get the prototype ROM and you get the Game Gear version as well, and you get the Game Gear version of Dynamite Headdy, although they have to be unlocked by holding right on the version selection screen. You have to do that twice for Gunstar and once for Dynamite Head, and you have to hold it for about 10 seconds. So you can see here, sound test, and listen to all the music. There's an art test as well, or not an art test, but an art gallery, and it shows you a huge range of artwork. There's also a few additional unlockable arts that I understand as well. There's a hidden menu on this one, but you can adjustimize the size of them and remove the header as well. There's also some early prototype art from when it was called Blade Gunner as well. And I've got to love these M2 collections because they really are packed with extra content. That's what I like about them. There you go, promo art when it was called Blade Gunner. So I'm going to start by showing you the Mega Drive version of Gunstar Heroes, and then at the end I'm just quickly going to do a section from the Game Gear version straight after. Okay, and just for a quick comparison, this is a small snippet of the Game Gear version of Gunstar Heroes. I don't really need to say much about this game. It is absolutely fantastic, the original Mega Drive version. Game Gear version was a nice port, but I think the Game Gear really struggled to do the game justice. Really, for me, the version of Gunstar Heroes you want to be playing is the Mega Drive one, but it's a really nice inclusion on this collection. Okay, on with Dynamite Headdy, and again you get, as you see there, the Japan, the overseas, and the Game Gear version. Now, one of the things I will say about Dynamite Headdy is I don't think it gets enough love, and the other thing is this game was censored to pieces or altered in the West, and I absolutely loathe the Western version of the game because of all the changes to it. They removed some of the humour, they took out a few things for some unclear reasons. You had like the pink cat was changed brown for some reason. Just some really baffling decisions for the Western version. They took out some of the text and story as well, and because of that I really do prefer the Japanese version of Dynamite Headdy. It's like Bare Knuckles 3. The Japanese version is an absolutely flawless game. The Western version is overtly hard, and Dynamite Headdy has some similar issues as well. They seem to have cranked up the difficulty for the Western version, and I really wish they hadn't done that. But yeah, Dynamite Headdy, this is the Japanese version I'm playing in this video, and as I said before, I just think the Japanese version is a much better version, but it's still a very good game, and it is a bit of an unsung gem from Treasure. I don't think Dynamite Headdy quite gets enough love from the various members of the retro community.
Yes!
Okay, so that was the Mega Drive version of Dynamite Headdy. We're just going to jump into the Game Gear version as well. And this time around I'm actually going to show you the same sections because you can't pick a stage in Dynamite Headdy like you can Gunstar. But it's interesting to see this version is quite a bit different with how some of the stages play and how the levels are actually laid out due to the hardware changes. But it's still a reasonably good port. I think it's a bit more of its own game than Gunstar Heroes. I actually prefer the Game Gear version. It's quite a nice port for Dynamite Headdy. Gunstar Heroes feels like a cut down version. Dynamite Headdy feels like because it's so very different they had to make quite a few changes, so some of the bosses are actually different. So the Game Gear version is slightly more its own game. It still feels a little bit like a cut down version of Mega Drive 1, but I think it doesn't feel as much as Gunstar Heroes. Now, Dynamite Headdy is the only one to actually include a third version, and that is the Master System version, which is actually pretty obscure as it was only released in South America and it didn't come out till 1995 as well, so a very, very late Master System game. Okay, and finally on to Alien Soldier. Now, Alien Soldier really was the sequel to Gunstar Heroes in all but name. I think Gunstar Heroes was felt to be too easy, so for Alien Soldier they ramped up the difficulty no end and basically becomes a trial and error game. The first time you play it, you will die, and then rapidly, as you work out each boss, you will be able to kill them without taking any damage whatsoever, and then you just repeat that strategy over the 25 or so bosses there are in the game, and it's quite infuriating. You basically get killed the first time, get killed the second, get to that point, keep getting killed till you work out how to beat the boss perfectly, and then you rinse and repeat, and it's really, really trial and error gameplay. And although I really enjoy it, I think it's a little bit too hard, and I have actually finished it flawlessly as well, although I'm a long way off my best. It's been a number of years since I actually sat and played through it, but it can be finished basically. In many ways it is a very well designed game in that the game teaches you to become a master at it, because your main aim is to actually get to the boss without taking damage, so you can do your charge shot dash, and that basically does huge amounts of damage to the bosses. But here's a quick sample of the first two bosses in Alien Soldier. One thing I will say that really annoyed me with Alien Soldier is the weapons limit. That's probably one of the most aggravating thing about it. The guns run out far too quickly and you have to swap between them all constantly. I mean, part of it, that's a gameplay mechanic, but I always felt they just ran out too quickly. I mean, you can power up the guns, and what you're supposed to do is analyse the 6 weapons, and each of the bosses is actually weak to one of the specific weapons, and you've got to figure it all out. But the problem is, to figure it out, you have to get to the boss with 4. You can only pick 4 weapons, so if you don't have the right weapons, you then need to figure out which weapons are best, or which weapons suit your play style. I mean, it's fundamentally a great game, but I can see why it put a lot of people off, and I don't think it was anywhere near as popular as Gunstar Heroes. But certainly, if you are looking to play Alien Soldier these days, and I mean, I do recommend playing it. I really enjoyed it when I actually sat down and played through it fully and did all the bosses and everything. And you do feel like a ninja by the end, and suddenly you went to literally did easy, then straight off and just did hard and just whizzed through hard as well, because you know exactly how to fight all the bosses. But it is one of those games that is very trial and error, and you do need patience with. And these days, as I said at the start of the video, it's very, very expensive to buy if you want an actual Mega Drive version. We do have a PAL copy here at Randomised Gaming, so at some point I might actually do a run through on the PAL version. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and that's where I'm going to leave you. I do highly recommend this collection if you plan on wanting to play it on the PlayStation 2 and just pick up these games at a relatively cheap price. The emulation isn't entirely 100% accurate on this collection, but it's a very good pickup at a very reasonable price.